When he presented this in this paper, it doesn't stop there. And this I found so interesting. And we're starting to get into stuff now where like I had never heard before. A lot of this stuff, when I digged into it, I was like, how come everyone doesn't know this? Because it's super cool. When he presented this paper, or I shouldn't say presented this paper, when he wrote this paper, he included discriminated unions in it. Tagged unions, whatever you want to call them. If there's FP people out there in the audience, they're going to scream at me for using the wrong term, but you know what I'm talking about, something that has a type in it and then subclasses inside it, and you don't know which one you have until you look at the type, and then you can use whichever part makes sense for that type. And this is a super powerful programming idiom. I use it all the time, and I think it's one of the best programming tools you have for things like dynamic polymorphism. I absolutely love it. It's in this paper in 1966, right? A long, long time ago. And this is his way better than anything I get to use today in C++ thing he suggested for what you would do when you wanted to use one of these. He said it's a switch statement, which of course wouldn't have been called a switch statement at that time, but it's basically a switch statement that says, I want to use this object, and I'm going to tell you what each type, whatever the subtypes might be, I'm going to give you a different block of code to run depending on which one they were, right? Again, functional programming, I believe, would really like something like this, right? It's doing that discriminated union thing. And furthermore, he gets the fact that this adds type safety and prevents errors. He gets the fact that the code that would come after the then statements can now safely refer to the subtypes because you know you've checked what the type actually was. And he says that right in the paper. So he totally got it. He knew way better than any of the knock-on languages, I guess from C++ on. He knew way better even at that time how cool discriminated unions would be if you had the right language constructs to work with them in a type-safe way. So I thought that was super-duper awesome. Now, if you think about it, if this was in the paper, and Simula read the paper, and that's how they created Simula, or the class concept in Simula and the idea of subclass of Simula. And then, C++ came out of Simula. Well, why don't we have, why wasn't this a first order feature? Where did the discriminated union part go? And the answer is, well, Nygaard and Dahl actually put it in. It was called inspect. So Simula actually had this. You didn't have to use virtual functions. Simula was way better about that. When Strustrup went to do his classes, he took it out. He thought that discriminated unions were bad because they broke modularity, right? It's because now someone from the outside can tell what class you are. So we lost out on one of what I consider would be one of the most important features I would use in C++ every day because it got removed when Simula was playing telephone with C++. All right, so there you go. That's where the concept actually comes from, right? It's this paper by, Anthony Hoare. He's Sir now, by the way. He's been knighted, I believe, right? And again, not a single part of it. There's no hint at all that any of this is really about compile time hierarchy stuff or about large teams or about any of the things we talked about today. It was literally like, hey, I might have a record that wants to have a type field, and it would be cool if I could just switch on the type field and do different things based on it. How about that, right? And that's what I would have wanted. So we had that already back when this paper circulated in 1966. So really the whole string is about us getting a really bad version of discriminated unions. We had them already, and now we don't have them. To this day, I don't even know a standard variant really works as well as this thing would have, right? And we could have had it from day one if someone had just believed that this was good.